to Webgains Accelerate. Today, everyone, we're talking to our COO, Amy Spencer. We're going to have a bit of a back to basics session, I think. It'd be a useful session for anybody who doesn't know what they don't know about affiliate marketing, but equally for any sort of skeptic to the channel. And indeed kind of why you're not running it. We're going to try and sort of bust some myths around, and debunk some sort of misconceptions, I guess, about why people hold back from investing into the channel. But equally, I think a valuable session for affiliates, for agencies who are sort of struggling to get investment from brands into the channel. So we've taken our inspiration for this from a recent sort of poll, challenges that some of our team have kind of faced in the past, and kind of come up with through the research 4 big sort of myths that today I'm gonna tee up for Amy to smash. I think there'll be kind of some obvious ones in here, but equally, if anyone's got any more that they're keen to kind of get answered, then we'll put them to Amy. You can be our resident sort of we can have a surgery, so you can be our in-house resident to kind of be the mythbuster. But yeah, so welcome, Amy.
Thanks, Natasha. It's great to be here, and I'm really looking forward to talking about this topic and hopefully sharing my insight and dispelling the myths, as you say.
Great, thank you. Well, look, let's start the first one. I think this is a classic. I think a lot of people struggle to commit to the channel, or to at least kind of enter the channel, really, because they consider that you need really big budgets to enter. And certainly for our kind of target edge SME kind of clients, there's resistance early doors because they think I'm going to need big budgets to do this, to commit. What do you say to them?
Yeah, I think it's a really important one to tackle, especially as historically many of the success stories that we've seen from the industry have been presented from like larger, high profile, possibly high street brands. And I think sometimes this can put smaller advertisers off, especially when some of those case studies are talking about paid for activity. And I think that's why we really wanted to go back to basics on this and talk about more of the fundamental of the industry and how you can achieve huge success from the performance-based aspect of it. When it comes to budgets, I think the first thing that we need to acknowledge is that the majority of an affiliate program is actually based on what we call a CPA, so cost per acquisition. So it's performance based, and this means that you only pay the publisher when you make a sale. And this is really, really important because it actually means that it's lower risks. The barriers to enter the market are lower, which is really, really important for SMEs and brands that are possibly less sure of the channel. It's easier to kind of enter and test this activity with different publishers. And the other thing to acknowledge is the fact that the ROI from the channel is typically really, really strong. So for every pound invested, a lot of advertisers see on average £16 generated. So you don't need huge budgets. You need to look at your profit margins and work out the flexibility that you have. But if you do that, then the return on investment that you see from this channel can be much higher than other digital channels. And I think when you're looking at different strategies around the budgets that you need to invest into the channel, in order to forecast effectively, if you're looking at kind of your minimum, medium, and maximum gross profit margin that you have available, this can really help with how you then handle commission rates. Fees can be factored into that, and then allowing some flexibility to do more strategic campaigns where you're increasing your commission levels, or you're doing different types of activity to boost performance. So it is accessible. If you look at our network, we have a huge portion of the clients that we work with are more SME brands, and they've seen huge success since they've entered into the channel, and they've really been able to kind of harness different affiliate relationships and see the growth through activating those partnerships.
Thanks, Amy. So yeah, that as a model, it makes sense that you're investing in, but you're getting the ROI out to then reinvest in, and that then kind of builds kind of, not necessarily exponentially for everybody, but it could be that that's the kind of model that you kind of then facilitates.
Yeah, it's scalable. Like if you compare it to other advertising channels where you're prepaying for exposure, often it's it can be quite risky if you've never tried that type of activity, and you're putting all your eggs in one basket. Affiliate marketing is amazing because it's very diverse, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about the different publisher types and why it's less risky. But it's exactly that actually you can very easily scale your program by reinvesting based on the return that you're seeing from the sales that you're being generated from the channel. So that's what we mean when we say it's kind of slightly lower risks, and it's also has lower barriers to entry because you can give it a go, and you don't have to invest huge budgets.
Yeah. And I think another interesting point that you made there initially was around the profit margin. So if you've got healthy kind of margins, then, basically you've got a sausage making machine that you just keep that cranking because you pour more in at the top, you're going to make more of a return. And that's a really kind of interesting way of looking at it rather than looking at kind of revenue, look at it from a profit base.
Yeah, and it obviously can vary per product as well. So you can commission on different levels, whether that's categories or products, or just have a base rate on your program. But it just means that when you're looking at your gross profit, you're obviously going to get flux with different products yielding you more profit. So I think the beauty is that if you've got that, you've got the data available to review. And then you've also got recommendations from affiliate networks on commission rates that are kind of appropriate for the channel, for the vertical that you're operating in. You can then make sure that you're positioned in the industry really competitive, and your proposition to publishers is really compelling, so they want to work with you.
Okay, great. Thank you. I think myth number one smashed. I think that was a kind of really interesting, kind of very very quick overview. But yeah, I think that kind of gives a good frame of reference. Thank you. Right, number two. You ready for this one? So do you have to be a recognised, a high street retail brand to be successful in the affiliate channel?
I think this is actually this follows on quite nicely from the budget conversation, because there's some similarities here, and obviously I'm here to kind of dispel this myth that you don't have to be a recognized brand to succeed in the channel, and we're seeing more and more examples of this, especially on our network, where we're seeing kind of new pure play digital advertisers join our network and scale very quickly. They're often quite innovative, they're able to move quite quickly, and the affiliate channel is really nicely aligned to their business models. And so absolutely, you don't need to have kind of huge brand recognition to join the affiliate channel, and actually the channel can be used to build brand awareness. Like, obviously it is a performance channel, but a lot of these publishers can actually help increase brand awareness. They can help drive traffic to your sites. They can help tap into completely new customers for you. And I think we're also seeing a bit of a shift away from connecting brands and high profile brands with publishers, and actually looking at products and what customers are searching for and wanting to purchase, and the relationship between products and publishers. And that's really interesting for an SME, because I think it's then about how relevant is the product to that customer. And there's so many publishers out there that can expose different products without necessarily it being all about the brand. I think CSS is a great example for that. So comparison shopping services, they they're really great at, I guess, showcasing more product inventory on Google. So it means that you can get more of your products to consumers who then go through to your website to purchase. So it's a different way of looking at it, and it's a really good way to scale, and it's a good way to kind of sell products that possibly you haven't been able to sell before. So that's just one publisher example within the affiliate ecosystem that can help drive more sales for you without you being a big brand in your own right. There's also other ways to look at it. So with some of our publishers, they're big brands in their own right. So, they have huge traffic to their site. They're recognized by shoppers as a go-to place, whether or not that's a voucher site, a cashback site, or maybe it's a content publisher. But for smaller brands working with these publishers, it can also really boost their own awareness by kind of associating and partnering with these publishers. So there's loads of different ways to look at it, but yeah, absolutely, you do not have to be a huge brand. I would say you need to be somebody who is engaged with the channel, who wants to invest in the channel, and we'll probably talk a little bit about that later on in this discussion. But you don't have to have kind of huge recognition with customers to succeed.
Thank you. I know we invest a lot into our sort of technology and our talent at Webgains, and we pride ourselves for being known as the intelligent affiliate marketing network. Now, a network's only as good as its connections, and I know we really invest in our technology to make those smarter connections possible. Can you just explain a little bit more about our affiliate discovery?
Yeah, and I think that's really important because many aspects of the affiliate channel aren't that automated and it's quite manual. And when we're looking at the crux of the industry, it is essentially about connecting advertisers to publishers and being able to do that on a scalable manner, and also being able to kind of find different partnerships that you might not be aware of. And we've invested a lot in technology, like you say, to help automate that and to help surface the best, most intelligent connections for advertisers. So we've looked at ML and AI modules, and a lot of that is kind of fueling our technology behind how we connect our advertisers to different publishers. But what it means is we've shifted away from maybe the top 20 publishers on our network to actually looking at all of the possibilities that we have. We have 200,000 publishers that are available to work with advertisers and who can tap into very niche sets of customers that can sometimes be very, very difficult to find. So one of the great kind of opportunities of partnering with a network like Webgains is the technology that we offer, and certainly affiliate discovery is a good example of that. And it's all about finding these smart connections between advertisers and publishers that you wouldn't manually be able to do, or if you did, it would take a lot of man hours to do that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Amy. Right, let's move on to myth number 3. So, myth or truth? The channel does not drive incremental sales.
Yeah, this is an age-old misconception. A lot of people would, have probably come across this in one way or another. And I think it's partly driven by the fact that the industry is based on a last click model, and probably partly to do with the historical dominance of voucher sites and possibly like the mismanagement of an affiliate program. And obviously, this is not something that we're actively seeing at all on our network. We see day in, day out the value that the different publishers that we have on our network drive. And there's different ways that you can look at it. You can look at it, are are customers more likely to spend when they've gone via the affiliate channel? Are they more likely to spend more? Are they likely to then, buy in future from that brand? And we've done loads of research. We've got a lot of data that shows that the channel can drive these valuable connections that actually tick all of those boxes and add value to that advertiser's program. And I think the driving factor in that is based on just how many different types of affiliates that we have that are involved in that process. We've got so many publishers that can specifically target audiences that are in specific verticals. Like I was saying with affiliate discovery, there are loads of publishers there that can help identify the customers that are really aligned to the products that you sell as an advertiser, and they can create compelling content. They might be able to, I don't know, provide reviews. All of this can help with the customer's decision to purchase. And that's one aspect. There's also many examples of where publishers can use different strategies to increase the minimum spend, and that's something that actually voucher sites do very well. There's certainly a place in our channel for incentive sites like voucher and cashback, and they shouldn't be discredited. Like, they do play a valuable role, and there's different ways that they can increase spend. We also find that on-site technology providers can also help with that, so they can do basket abandonment, and they can work with advertisers to reduce website bounces and basket abandonment issues. So there's loads of different publishers that if you all get them working on your affiliate program effectively, then there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't see incremental sales from the channel. They should complement the other activities that you do when it comes to digital, and you should see some high valuable customers as a result of it.
Great, thank you. That's a very clear answer, and I think it starts to blend into another myth, which if we've got time, I'll bring up at the end. But let's move on to myth number 4 for now. So, affiliate marketing is a passive, quick revenue channel. True or false?
So I guess this is similar to the incrementality myth, in as much as it's been circulating within the industry for a long time. And I think this isn't something that I completely disagree with, but I do feel like it's misleading. And I think there was a time when get rich quick videos were circulating on the industry, and it was all about these gurus that could help you make loads of money within a couple of days from the channel, and you didn't really have to do anything. And I think it's important to say that whilst it is possible to make a really healthy income from the channel, and there's plenty of success stories where advertisers and publishers have very quickly scaled, it's not as passive as it sounds. Like, you do need to invest some budget. You do need to look at your strategy for the channel. You do need to think about how does the affiliate channel complement your other digital efforts that you're doing. So I think it is important that when we're talking about encouraging people to enter into the channel and encouraging people to invest in affiliate marketing, that we talk about it honestly. And I think that's the beauty of the channel, that it is very transparent, and it's really easy to test and learn, and to invest time to get it right. That's one of the big benefits of the fact that it's a CPA channel, a performance-led channel, is that you can try different partnerships, and you can find out what works for your brand. There isn't necessarily a one-size-fits-all approach. Like, you need to find out what type of customers you're looking for, what type of products you have, how you positioned, what type of affiliates would work for you. So I think it's an interesting one, because there are examples where there is success that's quick, but I think we really want to encourage people to be engaged in the channel, and especially for like digital directors and marketing managers to understand the full potential of it, you do need to understand the channel and understand kind of the different levers you can pull to make the most out of it.
Yeah, I think completely agree. And I guess like all good marketing, it takes time to build, and the more time and the more you invest in, the better the traction, the deeper the connections. And as you rightly say, we've got some brands that have scaled, dramatically overnight, but what people don't see is that investment behind the scenes. It's like the swan analogy, isn't it? And all that hard work and that good work and that commitment that goes into to really invest into the channel and work with our team to draw the knowledge from both sides and really kind of collaborate to kind of get the best mix of different partners and different types of affiliates. And I guess that leads us a little bit into my sort of final question to you, which I know is a bit of a curveball, but just around that concept of brand and building brand. I think we've set up 4 kind of really solid myths there that you've completely slam dunked, but just to throw one in at the end, what are your thoughts in terms of the affiliate channel and its potential to devalue your brand equity?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's absolutely no reason why people should be afraid of that. If it's managed properly, if you know the affiliates that you're working with, the message you want to work with, there are loads of control levers. It's not a channel that you just enter in it and it's a free-for-all for publishers to take your brand and do what they like with it. Especially if you're working like with an affiliate network like Webgains, who has a high compliance level. We have teams that are in place to support the growth of your program and support the strategy that you have. So even the publishers on our network, they're vetted by our publisher team. They're manually approved onto our network, so there's safety nets there. Publishers also have to be approved onto your program as well. So even when you're on a network like Webgains, you still have the choice to approve who you work with. And I think if you've got your clear strategy and you're working with your diverse pool of different affiliates, there's absolutely no reason why you should fear kind of brand equity and being associated with the channel. There's so many examples of, because I think this is also something that is feared within the luxury vertical, and there's so many examples of brands that have come into the channel and have done it very well. We've got a number of very kind of high-end Italian fashion programs on our network, and they don't necessarily discount, they don't necessarily want to go down that route with the channel, but they are still looking at their strategy with content sites, with other publishers that can connect them with different audiences without necessarily discounting and without presenting their brand in a way that they don't want to. So there's still a lot of control, and I think that's really important to note.
Yeah, and a lot of choice, as you say there, where some of our affiliates are kind of brands within their own rights, and there's a halo effect with some of that, right? So yeah, okay, great. Thank you so much for your time today, Amy. I think hopefully you got five for the price of 4. For those of you that joined us to hear 4 myths dispelled. I think there's been we've kind of done a very kind of brief overview of the landscape and some of the challenges that I know we come up against in terms of why people, the barriers to entry, effectively, I guess, for why people choose to invest in the channel. I'm sure you've got many more questions. I know, Amy, you're always open to kind of being challenged, so healthy challenge. And so yeah, so if anyone has any more kind of questions or indeed sort of challenges for Amy, then please don't hesitate to get in touch. But for now, Amy, thank you ever so much for your time, your insight, and as ever, the inspiration that you bring to us all.
Thanks, Natasha.